Yeah, what's up?
What's up, bro?
What's going on, man? How your day going?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I hear you.
All right, man. How you
I'm,
doing?
I'm good, man. Just, getting my day started, getting things out the way early, because I got stuff going on in the evening, so I'm working through the day right now.
Is the lighting good, or do it need to be lighter or darker?
Nah, you good. And first, want to welcome you to my podcast, man. Definitely appreciate you for hopping on for a few minutes. We've been talking for some months, trying to get this in the works, but stuff happens. You busy, I'm busy. When it wasn't ordered, stuff like that. So decided to open it up on Zoom and get things rocking on here. So I appreciate you for stopping by, taking some time out to talk to me. But first, let's dive into a little bit about who you are, what you do, and kind of your goal out of everything that you're doing right now in life.
So pretty much what I do. Well, first my name is Daizhon. Daizhon Cox. I'm a full-time student at The Ohio State University. I major in public policy, and political science. At the moment, I'm an administrative intern for the Franklin County Board of Commissioners. And I work over at the State House and I staff for Latina Humphreys, who's a state rep. So for the most part, I pretty much do like a lot of government work at the time, a lot of community organizing. Um, so I do all of that, plus on top of being a student. So I do a little bit of important work. I'm kind of like the grooming process where they're grooming me for, something a little bit bigger and better. So that way I'm able to be able to hold public office. But for the most part, the main thing I like to do, I just want to be able to make changes.
Uh,
Um, I want to be able to just make changes in the community. I'm from the south side of Columbus. I went to South High School. Um, so really I'm just really about showing people that, you know, there's different paths in life. There's different things that you can do. And of course, everybody don't have to do, the courtroom or the political scene. Everything looks differently for everybody, but I kind of just really want to be able to be a changing agent for a lot of people. Um, so that's pretty much what I do. I feel like as a black man, a lot of they say that we can't do things other than, just be athletes. So I like to be able to show that, to be cool or to be able to do certain things, you don't have to be a football player. You don't have to be a basketball player. You can really pretty much really be whatever you want. So that's pretty much what I do. Pretty much like the day to day and shit, I enjoy it. So
that's big. Definitely be able to relate to you because when I was in college and I left college and once football fell through the roof, I was like, man, what am I gonna do? And
right.
I started losing hope. And I just, that's when I got, back closer with God, start praying more, start, reaching out to people and just start, being myself. Because when I was in college, I wasn't myself. I was depressed. I was going through a lot. I wasn't around people that looked like me. And I really didn't understand anything that was going on. But once I left, opened my eyes to new opportunities, a new vision, and it showed me my purpose. And I was like, hey, I got a voice, I got a story. Let me
Mhm.
share this with the world because I know even if I post one video a day or I share just one message, that message can touch one person and change their life. It's bigger than me. The goal is to, pave way for not only myself, but for generations to come. And, just watching you, we close in age. Well, I ain't from here, but I live here currently. But Youngstown and Columbus is basically two of the same things. Crime rates high, poverty rates high, everybody want to gang bang and do whatever else. I mean, that's cool. Everybody got their own vision and pathway, but I know that's not for me. Especially with the things I went through in my younger days. It just showed me what type of pathway I want to be on. Like I was just gonna call my dad today, and I was like, thank God I went through what I did earlier in life. That way now I know that's not what I want to do. I don't want to be in the streets. I don't want to sell drugs. I don't want to be incarcerated. I want to be on a different level than people that, maybe in those levels, but I also want to show them that there's a different way, just like you said. So that's good. And that's why, I've been vibing and, watching you and connecting with you and talking to you. A matter of text, phone calls, it's always good to see our black men and then just people I know, period, and doing well. And then other also, well, people I know telling me about you, that's something always good too. Like Tyrese. As soon as we like in college, I met him. He was talking, he was telling me about you, and I was like, man, I gotta check this dude out because that's the work I want to do.
It is funny because Tyrese knows me from high school, so he knows me from like years back. So it's like, I mean, I
Yeah,
haven't really seen a while, but I think that is good. And honestly, I think that it's great that you have this podcast, and I enjoy and I support the work that you're doing. I think that it's two things that you literally just touched on that I think that are very powerful is that you were an athlete in college and you kind of saw what that stigma was like when you were at college, being surrounded by people that, don't look like you, don't have your best interest at heart, but you saw that, even after college, it was kind of like, damn, what do I do next? And I know that there's so many people, not just here in Columbus, Ohio, or in Youngstown, but there's people all over that have the idea like, okay, like, in high school, I was good at sports too. In high school, I was all state, all district, I was all those things. But I knew, like, for me, I knew that long term, football wasn't my thing.
right.
I knew I wanted a little bit something different, but I know that growing up, that's what, when you ask kids, what do I want to be? I want to be a football player. I want to be a basketball player. And don't get me wrong, they make millions. I mean, they live the life, they have a great
Yeah,
life.
for
When you
sure.
actually break it down and you look at the percentage of, people that actually make it out or make it to there, it's very slim to none. I think
Yeah,
that only like I forgot what the number was, but I think maybe like only like 1% of college athletes go on to the next level to be able to play. Because if you think
yeah,
about it, look how limited it is. Like a football roster is 53 people total. If there's only 32 teams, if you do, you feel me? That's only like maybe like 1,400 spots just for people to make an active roster. You feel me?
right.
And not even you're only taking like 3 or 4 people for each position. So it's very slim to none. But I think that's where people like me and you come in at, and with you having those experiences in college, being able to see like what being an athlete is like, at the collegiate level. And then later on being able to figure out like, oh shit, you went through that whole process of I don't know what I want to do. I don't know what I'm good at. I don't know what my impact is going to be, but you're out here, you feel me, and you're trying to find a way. And I think that is good to be able to talk to people and to be able to see that like shit, you went from a football player, you feel me, in college to next you're a motivational speaker, like how
Yeah,
did that happen? Those two things, like how did they correlate? You feel me? So it's just like I feel like it's always good to be able to see those things. That's why I support, and I mean that's why I appreciate for us to be able to sit here and be able to have that conversation.
yeah,
And shit, just like you want to hear my experience, you want to hear about me, shit. I want to hear about you because it's you feel me. It's
right.
just you feel me to be able to just have those experiences, and it's like damn, I went through that, I saw that, and I went through this, and now I'm doing this. So it's just like,
And I think it's another thing, like when I left for college, like I went to Ashland University, small university in the middle of nowhere. I was going through stuff with family or just even personal. I was just like, I want to get away from people. So when I went out there, man, I was like, man, this is gonna be a great opportunity for me. The business was cool, the coaches was cool, but once stuff hit the fan, who was there supporting me? It wasn't no coaches. It was staff members higher up acting like they cared, but once everything fell, it was like, oh yeah, we got to get them out of here. And so that made me realize, like, when stuff go wrong, who really gonna be there for you? It was guys like Tyrese, Kyle and Bowden, Khalil Walker, Orlando Kamara, all inner city kids, people that's from the city that I didn't even know them from a can of paint before coming into college, but from the grace of God and from me connecting and talking with them and stuff at the fan, they held me accountable and showed me that hey, this ain't okay for you to be doing. You need to take a different route. But I really wasn't listening to the end. It was already just too late. And I had made decisions that, just couldn't be turned back, but and then also probably could have, but in the atmosphere that I was in, like around the people that was around, they wasn't having that. So like it was already too late. And so when I left college, man, I was scared, I was depressed, I didn't want to talk to nobody. And then it was just a period of time where I just started reaching back out to family, talking to them, telling them how I felt and what was going on, and it was hard to even talk about. I didn't even want to tell nobody about it. I hardly even talk about it now, just
yeah,
because I still think about college. I miss it, but everything's happens for a reason. I try not to question God, but sometimes it's just you in those situations where you just think you got to, but it's not always the best thing to do because with all things, I mean, all things are possible through Christ, and God always has a plan for everybody. And so I'm just waiting and being patient to find out what my real purpose is. But I believe that my purpose is speaking and talking to people and motivating them, because that's all the hope it is, to motivate people to keep going and keep pushing. No matter what you go through, you can always come out of that situation. We both from the hood, live in those areas. Look at us, you know, growing, elevating, making new connections, and doing the work we do. We may never know what that may land us, in the future, because these connections take us a long way. Like last night, I was at work and this cop was like, "Man, you do a great job with this. Love what you're doing." He was like, "You want to do a ride along, stuff like what you do?" And he was telling me like how you could get signed up for that. And then I
Yeah.
just ended up talking about you, because I was like, my friend, he do this type of work, and I'm like, okay, this is see how it's crazy how it worked. And so we just began to talk about you, and he was just like, you should do something like that.
Well, you definitely should do. I think that is a good experience. You're able to see things from a different lens because of course as African American boys I feel like sometimes we have a biased opinion towards the police just because of through the history and what they put us through.
Right.
I wholeheartedly believe it, and I'm an advocate from the community side as serving as a board member for Chief Bryant, who's the chief of police here. um but it was one thing that you had touched on. Oh, when you were talking about how like you went to college, and I think that another thing that we might want to let people know is that like every path is different, and that it's
Yeah.
and honestly like it's not too late because like you may miss college today, but a year from now you might enroll back in college, and should you
Right.
might finish college early, or you know what, college might not be a part of your plans. You never know. Should
Right.
you might go off tomorrow, meet somebody and blow up, and the next thing you know, you're just you're flying around the country speaking to people. So it's just like that's what I always tell people all the time is that I hate that when it comes to society and this generation, it's really hard to live in this generation. Like as a 20-year-old because of all the things that social media or society says that you should be doing at this age. And it
Right.
makes it hard because we do a lot of these things, from being hurt and from trauma and stuff like that to be able to fit the quote. You feel me? To be able to fit what it is that society says that we should be doing. Like we gotta have the nicest shoes, we gotta have the nicest clothes, we have to, have to do this. And sometimes we're not provided those things from the areas that we come from, or you're not provided those opportunities. And that's why sometimes we always feel the need that I got to go out and I got to get it the best way I know how, just to be able to keep up with the status quo.
Right.
And that's what I tell you all the time. And especially when I give advice, I'm like, yes, I give advice, and yes, what I do is great, and yes, I may make it look good, but I will never tell anybody that you should do exactly what it is that I do. I want you to be able to do it what you feel that your purpose is, or whatever feeds your soul, whatever makes you happy. Um,
Right.
so I think that as you're on your journey, and as you saying that you're waiting to figure out what your purpose, um, dig down deeper to be able to really figure out, not even just on the surface level, what is it that what is your purpose? What is it that you want to do? What is it that you want out of life? And I that's my favorite question. Actually, but like, what is it that you want out of life? It's easy for me to sit here and say, oh, I want to be an elected official. Oh, I want to be someday governor or mayor or something like that. No, but like, no, on the surface of it, what is it that I want to do? Okay, I want to be able to have an impact on Black and brown children, to be able to get them through an education system that's, not fair to them. So it's like I think that we need, as people, we need to be able to think deeper about those things rather than just thinking about on the surface level, like, oh, well, football star, basketball star, we're gonna be this, we're gonna be that, things that may be achievable, but just not so reachable right now. So it's like, but we also a lot of people don't like having that conversation. So it's like
It's
then you're
hard.
stuck.
It's hard, especially like how you talk about social media. Social media, it even hold an influence on me, and that's why I don't really like it. Like I post my 1, 2, see what I gotta do, text the people I gotta text, and I try to get off, because if I stay on for too long, I start like thinking I
It's
gotta
dangerous.
have this.
That was I was just talking to the chief earlier when we had lunch. Social media is probably one of the most dangerous things that could have ever really been invented. And I'm honestly really afraid to see, as technology continues to advance, what exactly would the world look like? Because that's what I was just like, the way the world has changed within the past 8 years is just crazy enough. So I can only imagine the next 5 years, next 10 years. Like when I was 12 years old or 13 years old, I didn't even have social media. I wasn't using social media back then the way that I
It was
use
better that way.
social media now. It was. My 3-year-old sister is probably more tech savvy than me. She's way
Yeah.
more advanced than I was. At 3 years old, she knows how to, you know, do a TikTok, post a TikTok, add a caption, schedule what time to post it, what filter to do, all at 4 years old. I'm like, damn, like you feel like this is crazy, but
Yeah.
this is just the reality that we're living in today, and it's mind blowing, and that's why we see a lot of the issues that we see today.
Yeah, I wish growing up I was like more cautious on what I did on social media because people don't know anything you do goes into a file. And at any time they can look that up. So that's the case, everybody be in jail. We already did it. Everybody has did something on social media. I don't care who you is, what you do, man. Just watch what you do on social media and just put out an image that you will want other people to see that you work with to see. Like, don't put out no image that you see other people putting out just because they rapping, they famous, and they got higher names. You know, everybody's the same. You can have $100,000 and still go to jail today. So you need to know
Yeah.
that. And just be yourself. That's most important. If you can't be yourself, nobody's gonna want to be around somebody that's fake and not authentic. You gotta be authentic if you want to be in the rooms and things like that that other people be in, because if you can't be yourself, then how other people gonna trust you? You know, so that's another big thing.
That's why
Like,
I'm really big, and that's why I'm really big on when you have influence to be able to make sure that you're using the influence you have in a positive light. And I say
right,
that just because we have social media. So I think about all the times I'm like, well, okay, well, how am I able to use my social media to promote, you feel me, positive things? Because I think that when it comes to life, you can count on life to throw curveballs and you can count on life to be bad. Like you feel me? Like you
right,
could just count on bad things to happen. But how is it that you can use your influence and your power? You feel me? Because I feel like those are two big things that a lot of people really don't want to talk about. And I think that's what, in my opinion, that's what I like to say. That's what keeps the world going round and round and round. Money, influence, and power. How are you able to influence people to be able to get them to do the things that you want them to do, or to be able to influence them in the right way? Do you have enough money to be able to fund it? And do you have the power of yourself or the power over other people to be able to get things done that you want to see be done? And that's why I'm really big on networking. That's why I'm really big on influence. I'm really big on the power that you hold, because I feel like what people don't truly understand is that we all hold a little bit of power. As much as you think that you're powerless and you think that, oh, my opinion doesn't matter, or I'm not as powerful as this person, we all hold something. We all have a power that you think that we could use at our disposal. Just like for you like helping people. That's your power. That's going to be the power that's certainly going to take you to the next level, to be able to get you to this room. And that's just going to get you through life. That's your power. That's the power that you hold. But at times we abuse the powers that we hold, or we don't realize the powers that we have. And then sometimes it's just a little bit too late. But I think that's where people like me and you, and maybe and some others that we find, to be able to identify what is our purpose and what is our power. So that way, shit, you can combine powers. You can combine
right,
powers and make a bigger power. And that'll maybe help somebody else find their power.
right,
But once again, we have to get people to be able to get into those ways of thinking. A lot of people aren't thinking like that. A lot of people are down here thinking on the surface level. We have to take our level of thinking to the next level, because I think that what I see all the time from people in our community, even people in general, is people can be so intelligent, so smart, have a lot of great ideas, but they don't have the influence or the power to be able to carry out the visions, or they don't even truly believe that they can carry out the visions that they have, when their visions could shit be the changing agent that we need in the fucking world today. So it's just like,
right. And then,
but you have to have those conversations. You have to have them, and a lot of
yeah,
people don't have them.
for sure. And then I think some people don't know, man. If you're watching this, I want you to take this away. If you got an idea, you want something to change in the world that you see, you can email people in Congress, and they won't say that they will use the idea all the time, but they will definitely look on it. And man, that connection can take you a long way. One of my friends reached out, and Congressman Tim Ryan, and he reached back out about the East Palestine stuff. He didn't use what the person was trying to get done, but he definitely still reached back out and thanked them for emailing them, and just having that connection, or just emailing that person. You may never know. You may be out in public. They be like, "Oh, is that Daizhon? Is that Larry? I remember you emailed me back in 2010 or something. Let's connect, let's talk. Boom. That can lead to jobs, money, laws being passed, change being made, keys to the city, things like that. That can take you a long way. And not to say to do it for, attention, but if you got an idea or something that you're trying to get in the works or you want to get moved or changed, man, make sure send those ideas in and make connections with people that make laws or create things that, get pushed out into the world because you may never know what they can do or help you out with. So yeah, I feel like that's something big that, a lot of people don't got the nuts and balls to do, or even to be courageous and bold, in doing and speaking and, saying these different things because they don't see other people doing it. I mean, the more people that you see doing something, the higher the chance, the influence of them doing it. Like if I see Jay smoking weed or drinking, I'm probably gonna join in too because that's the influence they showing. So it's like, dang, why not? If I see this person talking to people in the community, I'm gonna be like, oh, okay, I'm gonna join in too. If I see this rapper posting this type of music, I'm gonna post it too. It's all about influence, and sometimes following those influences ain't always the best, but sometimes following some influences can be the best or even change your life. So it's just one of those things where I go back, I always have this conversation with my aunt. You gotta think before you do anything in life because you would do one thing, it'll take you a second, and that second could change your whole life. And really just be, grateful and thankful for each and every day that you wake up because you may never know go to sleep tonight and wake up tomorrow. So, and then, always live every day like it's your last. And this is a quote I always remember. Every day is a gift. So that just goes back to say, like, be thankful and just live every day like your last and just treat people like with respect, treat people the way you want to be treated because that goes a long way. First impression is always something that people remember and look back on, especially like when you meet elected officials, people that work in Congress, when you go for a job interview. If you come in looking slousy, they're not gonna want to have you there. You come in looking presentable, engaging, enthusiastic, they want to do work with you. They want to put you on different platforms. They want to see you win. They want to assist you into winning. You may never know when that may take you. So that's another takeaway too. But man, you got anything else you want to share?
Well, the last thing is just always be fearless. Um,
Right,
be fearless to the point where you gain the confidence, even if you don't have the confidence, to know that you can do anything that you put your mind to. And don't get me wrong, I get that we tell everybody says that in school, you do whatever you put your mind to, but truly take that line and wholeheartedly believe that. Because I think that a lot of times we can't vision what our lives will look like or vision, the things that we can do until we get the opportunity to do it. And I can
right,
tell you firsthand for myself, I've gained so many opportunities because I was just fearless. Like I didn't think about, oh, if I reached out to this person, if I reached out to the congresswoman, would she email me back? I didn't think about what if she didn't. I just did it just to be able to say that I knew that I did it. And that goes back to what you said earlier about, how your friend emailed, Tim Ryan and Tim Ryan got back to him. A lot of times we get into our mindsets where, oh, that's an elected official, that's somebody important, somebody in a position of power. Oh, if I reach out to them, they're not going to take me seriously, not going to reach back out to me. No, still reach out to them when you're going into that job interview. Be foolish enough to be like, you know what, like, yes, do your interview process, but I believe I could do this job. I believe I'm qualified for this job. So I think
right,
that when you live fearlessly, things will just come natural,
for sure.
and it builds character, it builds confidence, it builds all those things that you probably thought that you didn't possess, you now possess just based off of being fearless. And I think that that's how, honestly, firsthand, a little secret to success, that's how I get through my life on a daily. I'm just fearless. I'm fearless to know
Yeah,
that I believe in my ability to be able to do the work. And then I just believe in myself wholeheartedly because I love myself. And I believe that when you find a common ground of loving yourself, you'll believe that you can do anything. I wholeheartedly believe that no matter what position they put me in, what they asked me to do, I believe that I could accomplish it if I put my mind to it. And that's just how I go around. That's how I go about things. And that's how opportunities will continue to fall in the lap, which I get keeping God first, being blessed. I get all of that stuff. But sometimes stuff aren't blessings. Sometimes it's just you sitting right there doing the work,
Right,
and I think that sometimes people they don't acknowledge that because people are so scared of failing or disappointment. No, like I said earlier in you feel me during the podcast, you could count on life and you could count on all that to come natural. There's nothing you can do to stop disasters happen, to stop anything like that. Those things are going to happen, but it's like, okay, am I fearless enough to know, like, okay, yeah, this happened. Yeah, this sucks. Yeah, I'm sad, but I'm fearless enough to be able to let you know right now, I'm going to get through this. I'm going to come
right,
out 10 stronger. So if I had to leave one last message, is just be fearless. Like, I mean, that's just my biggest takeaway from life because like you said every day is a blessing but we take it day by day. Shit, knock on wood right now, but I don't know if I'm going to be here 2 years from now or a year from now. So you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to literally do everything I want to do. I'm literally going to sit here, I'm going to do it today. Like that's
right,
just my mindset, and I think that a lot of people they need to adopt that mindset because once you have one bad day, that one bad day turns into two, into three, and next thing you know it's been a whole damn year.
for sure.
And you don't
Yeah,
have a
bro,
year to waste. We don't have days and times to waste. We just don't. So be fearless. If there's nothing that you can learn from Daizhon Malik Cox is to be fearless. Be fearless and don't look back. I mean, like just like earlier, this last thing I'm gonna say is that you were saying about when you left college, leaving college, that's a hard decision to make. That's actually a life-changing decision to make. But at
yeah,
the end of the day, you grow up and you become a man or you become a woman or you become an adult making decisions for yourself. You have to learn to be able to make tough decisions and to be able to be like, I probably didn't have to do that, but at the end of the day, I made that decision. So now what am I going to do next? We get so caught up in, oh, I made a bad decision. Now I'm so scared on what the second decision is going to be because I already made one bad decision. You're going to make bad decisions. It's going to happen. It's life. You're human. So I think that we just have to start being fearless. I feel like we don't have too many people that are fearless enough. You have to be fearless enough to give yourself the life that you weren't promised. You just weren't. I'm actually going to post that
true.
later. That was good right there. I like that.
Definitely true, man. And if you're watching this video, I hope that you motivated to keep going. Follow me on Instagram at Larry Thomas Motivates. Say yours as well.
You can follow me on Instagram at Daizhon Cox.
Yep, no doubt. If you got any questions, you need some motivation, and you just want to talk, I'm always an open ear. I'm always willing to help anybody out, and I'm sure my brother as well is willing to do that. And if you also watch it, make sure you tune into my YouTube channel at Larry Thomas Motivates, man. It's a go. It's a year elevation, and it's a year of new opportunities. So, I can't do it without y'all, and I appreciate y'all for watching. Hey, John, I appreciate you for coming out and talking to me for a few minutes.
For sure. Anytime. So if you need anything from me, just let me know. Just reach out.
No doubt, brother. I appreciate you.
I for sure. You be safe.
Yep, take care.